All right. Hello, everyone. Back for a Wednesday live stream. Today we're going to use Shift to update Shift. uh, maybe. Here's what I'm actually going to do. I'm going to attempt to upgrade Shift, but as you know, with any new release of Laravel, the issue is not so much upgrading the challenge that you often face is not necessarily upgrading Laravel itself. There's the upgrade guide, there's of course Shift, there's things that you can do to make the actual upgrade process easy. The issue that most people run into is that their dependencies are not yet compatible. So we're probably going to run into that with Shift. Shift is an old project. I would say it's a medium to large application, and as such it has several dependencies, most of which are not yet tagged as being compatible. So we're going to give it a shot. What we may do is switch to one of my other projects to run Shift, but the main point here is to upgrade to Laravel 12. That's what this stream is going to be about. I'm going to kind of talk about my process of how I go about it, what I try to do, how I would approach this objectively, right? I'm the creator of Shift, so of course there's a little bit of bias, but I'm going to try to remain objective in how I would go about upgrading a project. So let's jump in, right? Let's jump in. So what I would do, first of all, is I would jump out here and I'm going to cat out, or well, you know what? Let's just pb copy my composer JSON file. I'm on Mac, so let's use this little pb copy command. So I would go out to Shift and there's a tool, can I upgrade Laravel? Little online form. You basically jump out here, you paste in your package JSON file, and you can just paste in, just this section, just your require section if you don't want to paste your whole thing, if there's any kind of sensitive information in there, if your auth stuff's in there for some reason. But for the most part, you basically just paste in your whole file. We'll take that little chunk in there, you click this button, and it basically will tell you for the most recent 3 versions of Laravel, how are you doing, right? Do these packages, do your dependencies have compatibility? So basically we're going down the line here, we're looking for some checkboxes in the 12.x column. So I'm not necessarily seeing all checkboxes. Now, some of these packages are my own. I know that they're just dev master stuff. They don't actually get tags. So even though it's saying like unknown on compatibility or not compatible, it's compatible. It's just dev master. It doesn't have an actual tagged version. So you're getting like an X there. But if we look through a few of these, like there are some actual third-party packages that I use that don't have compatibility. My main concern are actually these two. All of these things related to Torchlight. So I have Graham Campbell's Markdown, which is like a Laravel Markdown integration. I've got Ryan Chandler's little Cloudflare turnstile thing for forms like this that are just like GET requests, just to make sure they don't get spam botted. And then like Torchlight, again, all the Markdown stuff. So I know Aaron said he was working on tagging these in the next few days, but in upgrading Shift before and upgrading this project before, I know that these three packages are always slightly delayed. Now, and in fairness, we're 2 days after a major release. So, years ago, it used to be a month. So the fact that we're only 2 days in and I basically have almost all compatibility except for a few packages is pretty good. That's a testament to the community. I'd like to also think it's a testament to Shift because all the packages that are tracked on the screen receive PRs. So if we actually go look at Ryan Chandler's turnstile thing, you'll see a Laravel 12 compatibility Shift that came in for his package. So a lot of these people receive this. The Torchlight stuff has one of these. I don't think Graham's has one of these. He asked to turn that off a few years ago. He has a very specific way he likes to upgrade his own projects. So I turned them off for his. So I know that his aren't going to be compatible until he tags them. So for those reasons, I feel like this really wouldn't be a good stream because we wouldn't be able to reach the goal here, right, is to upgrade to Laravel 12. What's going to happen is I can run Shift against the Shift code base, which I'm going to do, just so we can see what it does. But I don't think we're going to complete it. I think what we're going to do is jump to another project that I can actually attempt to complete, because we're going to end up in dependency hell for this thing. I can hack all the version constraints and blah, 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 but like I'm not going to get them all through with so many missing. All of these markdown ones missing. I'm not going to have a chance at actually getting Composer to install Laravel 12. So again, Laravel 12 is all good. Shift's all good. But you should really check your dependencies is the point. Go out here, use this tool, check your dependencies, look for those green checkboxes, or at least, if you have private packages, of course, we're not going to be able to link through to those. If you have paid packages like Mail Coach, we're not going to be able to link through to those. You'll have to make the call on those. But ideally, anything that's tracked by Shift, you should see green checkboxes here. If you see green checkboxes there, you're ready to upgrade. Whether you want to use Shift or not, that's up to you. But this tool from Shift will hopefully kind of help you get started, right? So that's the goal here. So anyway, let's sign into Shift and let's run the Laravel 12 Shift against laravelshift.com, right? So let's go to laravelshift.com. I like copying this. It's easier. So again, I have lifetime access to Shift as the creator. You would, of course, put in some credit card information here, or if you have a subscription, of course, you would see what I see, you just run. So let's just go ahead and run this. Again, let's see the code changes that it does. Let's see what it does. I'm not going to actually attempt to finish this one. I think we'll jump to another project and run another Shift on it that has a better chance at actually getting fully upgraded. But let's run it. Again, it's a medium-sized code base, so let's see the changes that are in Laravel 12, right? Because there's supposed to be no breaking changes. So let's see what the Laravel 12 Shift actually does, because there's some changes, right? And there's some cool refactors that, because of the no breaking changes, I was able to integrate into the Shift, whereas earlier Shifts, I wasn't able to always put in refactor stuff because there were so many changes that actually needed to be implemented that it kind of would make for a noisy PR if I did all of the required changes, all of the stuff in the upgrade guide, and then a bunch of refactors, right? It would just be for like Laravel 10 and 11, it would have been a huge file diff. And it's already a big file diff sometimes. So for 12 though, because there was low impact of the changes that were made, I took the opportunity to do some refactors. So let's see what those look like. Hearing some stuff in the chat. Hey Ron, how's it going? Hey Alex, thanks for joining live. Okay, so here's the PR. You get a nice PR, nice atomic commits, a lot of information here on how to kind of begin to review this PR. Now, let me say something real quick again as the creator of Shift, another pro tip. Right here. Read all the comments. I get a lot of support emails. I get a lot of feedback that's like, oh yeah, upgrade went well, but I got to production and some configuration value changed on me. Here it is. Here's that comment about that config, right? So read the comments. It's very, very thorough. Shift is very, very thorough. It leaves a lot of these detailed comments. I remember a long time ago, Adam Wathen, when he was more in the Laravel community, pre-Tailwind, he said the comments are the best part of your service. So read these comments. They're carefully catered. It's like your own personal upgrade guide. They're carefully crafted for your application. Shift has insight. It looks at your code. It analyzes your code. It'll tell you the things from the upgrade that are specific to your application that you should review. So again, definitely review all the changes. A lot of people just jump over here to the files. They just want to see the code. I get it. But when you're done with that, read all the comments. There's a lot of stuff in there, right? Okay, so to that point, let's kind of take a look at the individual changes. Another pro tip, I like looking at, Shift makes these atomic commits. I like looking at them individually to kind of see the changes, right? So we've got this, again, some PHP stuff here. We've got the convert to null safe operator, use faker methods, all these things that kind of update, modernize your code base. Again, every upgrade, there's core files that change. So here we go. Here's some core files that change. We can go take a look at those. So in this case, pretty simple stuff. Artisans got some type hints that are happening. There's some new, HT access stuff if you're using Apache that comes out of the box. Again, some more type hints and so forth for these core files. So maybe not a breaking change, but again, these are important. I've seen a lot of applications that, don't work the way somebody expects at some point in the future because they just missed, one or two things. This could be important, right? So tiny little thing there. Let's see what else we got. We've got, let's just bring all these up because these are all those kind of refactors that I was talking about. I have a couple seeders inside of here that have old code samples. So Shift might have picked up on that. That's interesting. Okay, so we see here it removes unused validate request trait. This is kind of a Laravel, this was kind of actually a Laravel 11 thing. Again, the new structure in a Laravel 11 application just has an abstract controller. It doesn't have any traits on it. They kind of want you to use the new methods and the facades that are now available in kind of modern Laravel. So this, Shift noticed that I wasn't even using this trait, the methods that come with this trait anywhere in my application, so it removed it. Awesome, cool little streamline there. Okay, here's an example where it removed the trait, but it swapped me to a gate. So let's take a look at this. So again, this trait provided kind of this authorize. Now I can just use the gate directly. It's the same exact functionality, but again, this is what the docs will show you if you go look at the Laravel 11 and Laravel 12 docs on authorization. This is what you're gonna see. So again, making my code look and feel like a Laravel 12 application, like the doc examples. That's important, you know? It's a small thing, it's completely optional. Yeah, it's not in the upgrade guide, but you know, the context switching as a Laravel developer, like if you're working in your app and you're looking at the docs and you're writing code, to think every time you go and do authorization, oh yeah, I'm using the old method, or oh, it doesn't look like, you know, it doesn't look like docs. Like that's kind of some mental friction, right? You know, so having your code look and feel like the latest version is pretty nice. So again, just a couple spots here, but that's cool. I like that. Modernized controller middleware. Okay, this is a bigger one. Again, that was kind of pushed in Laravel 11 with some tweaks during Laravel 11. There's a lot of stuff that comes out in these minor releases. So here's just a small thing where like before you did your middleware in kind of this inline constructor, and now you can actually, kind of like the casts in a model, there's a method that you kind of return all of these and you build them out a little more object-like. So this is kind of this is the way the documentations demonstrate doing controller middleware now. So Shift is just bringing my code up to that. And I actually had a lot of instances of controller middleware. Somebody asked me on Twitter to make a shift that takes controller middleware and moves it to routes. And I really like that idea. I don't like stuff that happens in my controllers, to be honest. I want my controllers to just be like the action code, right? I mean, after all, they're called a controller action. So I want them to be the action that occurs when everything works. You know, when everything's been authorized, when everything's been middlewared, when everything's been validated, that's my primary code. Like that's my action code. Do the action, right? I don't want to see a bunch of code that's like, it's kind of buried in a way, right? I just don't expect in like an MVC framework to see all those like gated checks in my controller action. I really like it when they're very smooth. So the point is, I think that suggestion on Twitter might be a future live stream where I try to take this and move it out to the routes. That'd be a pretty cool refactor, I think. Okay, good one there. What else do we have here? Okay, again, so just making this, so now look, after doing all those other things we saw, now we just have the abstract base controller. Easy peasy. Oh, this is something that came later. See, again, the Shift code base is actually a pretty old application. And, you know, I think I probably started it, honestly, in like Laravel 5.0. So it's come a long way over the years. I mean, 12 versions. But again, to the point of things being released in minor versions, so like Laravel 11.23 or something, for example, this new cool composer run dev script was added. So Shift is going to give you that, right? This isn't mentioned in the upgrade guide. Like you're missing out on a cool piece of DX, you know, unless you were later than that, unless you started a brand new Laravel 11 app later than that minor version where this was added to the framework. So I think that's pretty cool, right? Again, tiny little thing. But yeah, now I can use this new composer run dev tool that's probably mentioned in the docs. you know, other people might not get that. So it's not mentioned anywhere. Okay, bumps to the dependencies. This alone, in my opinion, this alone is worth shift. I mean, look at all these dependencies I would have to go track down and make sure I got the right versions for. I mean, you're going to be pecking at Composer on a larger app with a lot of dependencies. You're going to be pecking at Composer, just tweaking these one by one and trying to find the right version. So I don't know. Again, biased there, but I think that's worth it. Okay, we got these casts. So it looks like I had a few casts that were still properties instead of the new method. I've gotten some feedback on this actually, and maybe you can tell me in the chat. I've gotten some feedback on this. Some projects that are using Stan, like PHP Stan or Larastan, they're saying that Larastan is not as good with the method. Like if you use, like you lose some of the typing if you use the method. You have to make like a pretty interesting doc block that gives you the array shape, I think they call it. Whereas this, it was kind of able to read and infer the simple array. Whereas this, it's not good enough to like get down and look at the return value. So because of that, the point is, because of that, some people were wanting to leave this a property. So again, that's another reason things are done in a nice atomic commit. You can just revert this commit. You can just grab this commit SHA and revert it. So it's a one-line command. So that's one of the reasons Shift does stuff. So if that matters to you, like if you use that heavily and you need that doc block for that kind of completion, then you could revert this commit if you wanted. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. Again, all of my tests are going to fail, of course, because Composer's not able to run because I have, a half dozen packages that aren't compatible. So we see that there are only, there's only about 20 files that are changed here. But honestly, all of these changes minus the Composer JSON file are not necessarily listed in the upgrade guide. This is all, again, stuff that makes my app look and feel like Laravel 12 and like Laravel 12, like a modern Laravel application. Makes it feel like the examples in the docs. And I think there's a lot of value in that. So once those other things are tagged, I will probably rerun this shift. But for now, I think it's going to be an uphill battle to actually get this to run. So I'm going to close this PR. I'm just going to delete that branch to be rerun in the future. And I think what I'm going to do instead is probably, I'm trying to think of a project to jump out to. Oh, hold on, here we go. Let's see here. Oh, we got a bunch of stuff in the chat. Let's see here what's going on in the chat. Weird question that I have, but since you are touching on controllers, how do you decide what to put in a model versus a controller? I still adhere to like the old school, like skinny controller bits. So yeah, Alex, I think if there's opportunity for me to have a shareable thing, I probably start by putting it in the model, especially if it deals with like saving, right? If it deals with any kind of saving and I got to kind of build up a model, and that can be a lot of code, right? The create call alone, if you break up an array, is several lines. So a lot of times I have creation methods on the model where I pass it the form data, and it'll build out the model and return it. So it keeps my controller pretty slim. I know modern Laravel, this isn't necessarily like something you'll see in the docs, but I know the community really likes the action pattern. This is something Nuno talks about, I think, and probably one of his streams a couple weeks ago. You're welcome to check it out. I personally haven't adopted the action pattern. It feels very like command bussy to me. It feels very faddish. And like I find that with some private methods and pushing some creation down to the models, my controller methods are rarely more than 10 to 15 lines. So like, by the time you abstract the gate stuff to a middleware, by the time you push validation to a form request object, if you use the things Laravel gives you, I honestly would be hard-pressed to find many of my controller actions were more than 10 to 15 lines. Now, that's not the case for everybody. So if you have shareable code that's 20, 30, 40 lines long, then yeah, maybe look into the action pattern. I mean, I'm not knocking it per se. I just haven't found a need for it. WH, yeah, the method doc block for, yeah, if you're using PHP stand, I think the method doc block is pretty gnarly. And as such, like, yeah, you may want to preserve the properties if you get it for free. Absolutely. I don't use those tools heavily. Again, I don't feel the need for them for what I do. So yeah. But yeah, Thomas, if you have 10 to 15 casts, making that array shape in the doc block is going to be ugly. And you probably don't even get like 100% of the data typing, like if you were using like enum casts or something. So I could definitely understand keeping that as a property. So again, nice atomic commit, easily revert, even if you use shift. Ron, yeah. The old mantra, yeah, fat, okay. So I haven't used a lot of actions. Yeah, cool. Always worried my code is weird. Aren't we all? Aren't we all? Yeah. I say do what works, do the naive thing, right? Do the naive thing until it doesn't work. No one can argue with it. It works. You really can't. You can nitpick like subjective things as a developer, code format, style, use this, use that, but that's how we learn, right? But yeah, it not working is really what matters, right? I always write the naive code first. Then I write the test. And then if I want to refactor it for my own personal gratification, then I will. Okay, let's go to WPPM.io. Here's why I'm going to do WPPM.io. I'm going to do WPPM.io because it's a side project I started midway through Laravel 11. And so the reason I think that's a good candidate, there's actually two reasons. One, it's not going to necessarily, I know it's a smaller project, it's not necessarily going to have a lot of dependencies, so I think we can get all the way fully upgraded to Laravel 12. Two, because it started on Laravel 11, I think this is a good candidate to demonstrate that even though there are no breaking changes in Laravel 12, we're probably still going to see some interesting things come across in the PR. Like, this is truly Laravel new while Laravel 11. And I think for most applications that did that, most applications that are on and started on Laravel 11, just like the upgrade guide says, like, you might only have, a 10-minute upgrade if you want to do it by yourself. But I think, I like to believe that, again, we're going to see Shift go above and beyond the upgrade guide, even in a project that was started on Laravel 11. So I ran Laravel new I ran Laravel new on this probably last April is when I started this project. So yeah, it would have been a Laravel new 11 application. So again, let's see what this does with Shift. And I think we can get it to the end. So let's do that same thing. Let's do that PB copy. Let's just follow the same stuff I advocated earlier. So can I upgrade Laravel.com? I'm going to paste in that. Let's look at our... Okay, so see the checkboxes here? Beautiful. Look at those checkboxes. All the way down, full checkboxes for Laravel 12. I should have to do nothing in regards to Composer. Shift will bump all of these for me. I'll just be able to truly run, as Taylor says, truly run Composer update, and I'm going to be good to go. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. We're going to put it to the test. Okay, so let's go get this. Let's go back to Shift. I'm going to run the Laravel 12 Shift. So we're going to switch gears. I know I said I was going to shift, but we're going to switch gears. We're going to shift WPPM.io just because I think we can get all the way to the end, whereas the other one I would be in dependency hell for a good half hour, and I don't think that's fun to watch. So let's run this instead. And again, also too, I think this is really cool because we got some ancillary things in Shift because it was a pre-Laravel 11 application. So I kind of want to put to the test, like if you were already running Laravel 11, how smooth, how easy, how minimal is the upgrade? I'd like to think we're still going to see some interesting changes here. So let's find out. Let's let this run for a second. What else is in the chat? I heard a few beeps. Congrats on this beautiful yeah, thank you. yeah, I love Shift, but at the end of the day, I've kind of been on Reddit the last few days, of course, because it's a way in which I kind of market the application. Because I reach users on there, and I know Reddit can be hit or miss, but like that is kind of the battle sometimes. I think sometimes, honestly, what I care most about is that you're thorough with your upgrade. That's what I care about. I care. I don't want you to have drag in your project, and by drag I mean like, your code, your application code does not match the docs. If you go look at Laravel 12 docs and your code doesn't match it, I would challenge that you're not fully upgraded. And so again, that's drag, right? It doesn't make the application fun to work on. You don't have all that fresh new DX that Laravel is prides itself on and is wonderful to work with. Like, you're maybe not working with the latest greatest stuff, and that's drag. And I hate drag. I don't want you to have drag. So whether you use Shift or not, like, I just want you to be thorough with your upgrade. So sometimes sometimes I kind of just have to laugh. These people that are like, oh, upgraded in 10 seconds. Oh, the docs say it only takes 4 minutes. And it's like, yeah, as we see, but it's just not an apples to apples comparison. Like the docs will hit like kind of what they believe to be like the impactful changes, not necessarily all changes. So anyway, again, yeah, I just want you to be thorough. I just want you to be thorough. Don't pride yourself on a 10-second upgrade. Pride yourself that your application code looks and feels like the docs, right? How you get there, that's up to you. I think Shift can help you. I think Shift can do it better, faster, more thoroughly. But, if you want to do it by hand, hey, great, no problem. So, okay, we got the PR. Again, nice atomic commits. So let's just kind of go through these. Let's just go through each one of them. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, that's interesting. I kind of forgot I added that. Okay, so we got some class things. Again, tiny little refactors here. Just these are more PHP things. Every Shift does a couple PHP things, right? It does like array syntax, and it does that null safe operator. It does these class references, just because it's not just about Laravel. It's also about feeling fresh and modern with PHP too. So there's just a handful of little PHP automations that the Shifts do as well. So look, these class-based string references, like it now just kind of references that instead. So I think that's pretty nice. All right, same thing, core files. We saw that on Laravel Shift. Okay, same thing. It's just kind of removing these. Same thing, gate controller. Oh, that's nice. Look at this. It busted out the authorization into their actual parts. That's cool. Yeah, because actually, this was actually kind of a pain point, I think, with Laravel 11, is that, again, the docs did mention this in Laravel 11, but there wasn't a one-to-one equivalent with authorize resource. So they kind of left this trait in there. And it's still in there. You can still use it. But breaking it out to its corresponding middleware, that's kind of cool. So we've got this middleware. Okay, so we converted the middleware. Oh, and here you go. Look, see, it converts it. So not only did it convert it from gate not only did it convert it from the authorize trait method, but now it's converting it to the corresponding middleware, the static middleware property. So static middleware method. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, we can see how kind of Shift compounds on itself, right? Like it does this and it does this, it does this. That's kind of why you get those atomic commits. I build it that way so it can layer in these changes nice and neat, right? So now we have, again, as you would expect out of a fresh Laravel application, we have this abstract class controller. No traits, no inheritance, exactly like you would get if you ran Laravel new and got a Laravel 12 application, or 11 application for that matter. So default config files. Okay, so it looks like I was just missing a property here, no problem. Or an option, I guess. So new env variables, we got that. Laravel 12 now uses version 7 UUIDs. Oh, nice. Okay, I think, you know what? I think they added this to the upgrade guide actually yesterday. But it was something I noticed in the changes. I look at the Laravel framework change log as well. Of course, every week I send out a newsletter. But also when I'm building Shift, I not only look at the Laravel skeleton, but I look at Laravel framework too. And I noticed that they had this new or they deleted a trait for this. And so I kind of stumbled upon this chain of PRs where this all kind of got changed. I think it's a bit of a gray, this is a bit of a gray area if this is a breaking change or not. I don't know. This would change the way your primary keys were saved for this model. This would change the format of your primary keys, right? They would suddenly be using version 7 instead of version 4. So Shift preserves this, right? It automates this change for you. So if your application is using UUIDs and you were using this trait, there's a couple changes there, right? Again, this is listed in the upgrade guide now, I think. But yeah, I don't know. Arguable on whether or not that's a breaking change, but Shift preserves it is the point. So that's cool. It's cool that it found that. I kind of forgot I was using UUIDs there. All right, so it bumps, no. This is the composer. Okay, that's composer dev. All right, cool. This is the new storage folder. I think there was a comment about this. We'll read the comment so I can elaborate on that. But here we go. Look, we got all the Postmark stuff. Livewire got bumped. Sentry got bumped. Everything looks good. So we got a lot more bumps there. Here's just some cleanup. Okay, so we're back to the main thing now. Okay, so, all right, that's fine. I wasn't using mail encryption, so we're good. Here's that note about it converting the traits. So let's see. Yeah, okay, yeah, we saw that already. Here's the information about how to use Composer Run Dev. Here's the information about that local storage. They basically mirrored the public folder. So instead of everything that was private being kind of top level in storage app, they now pushed it underneath private. So this was done actually in a later version of Laravel 11. But again, because my application was probably started on like Laravel 11.0.1, because it was very early in Laravel 11, I didn't have this change. So tiny little change, but it could be breaking, right? So Shift's kind of like letting you know that, hey, we put this folder in your app, but we didn't change your configuration. If you want to change your configuration, go for it. The following dependencies were not updated. Is this compatible? I thought we saw the checkbox for this. Interesting. Interesting. Let's go look. Interesting. Is there another branch with compatibility? Added Laravel 11. Didn't this say, or we're not on there anymore? I'll have to go check. I thought it said that was compatible. We'll have to see. We'll keep going. Let's keep going. Okay, underline Symfony components, blah, blah, blah. Update the global installer. I've already done that for other projects. Am I using any image validation? Well, I'm definitely not allowing SVG uploads, so I'm okay with this change. But again, tiny little gray area change there, right? Like this is nuanced. If you were allowing SVGs, then this is a breaking change for you. If you weren't, then it's fine. But yeah, that's interesting. So keep an eye out for that. If you're using image validation and you allow uploading SVGs, then you're going to need to add these flags to your validation. Shift doesn't know if you're actually allowing SVGs or not. And in fairness, I think this was removed because of a potential security like code injection type thing, because SVGs, they have code within them. They're not necessarily just like a binary file like a JPEG or something. So I think that's why they disabled this. So, again, Shift doesn't want to go and it could automate that change for you, but it doesn't know if you're using SVGs or not. So there's just kind of like this warning comment. Part of me wonders if that should be like a X, like check this out, Is it a warning? Is it a warning or is it an error? I don't know. Tell me what you think in the chat. Okay, we're down to the bottom. None of this crap's gonna work because we gotta run Composer update. So let's get after it. Now. Let's start following. Let's get this upgrade going. So I'm gonna follow the notes here. We've reviewed all the pull requests. Let's check out the branch. So let's do git checkout boom. And let's just jump right in. Composer-W. Composer update. Let's see if we make it. Paratest requires PHP unit. Paratest requires PHP unit 11. Did it bump Paratest? You know what? Let's get into PHP Storm and let's start figuring this out. I don't know. I must use Paratest in CI. I'm trying to think. Do I care about? Do I have WPPM on here? There it is. Sometimes I don't always work on the iMac. This is the iMac. I normally work on my MacBook Pro, but I've got this I got this 2019 iMac that I'm still rocking. Okay, let's just bump PHP unit because I don't think I was running 10 with already having like the type hints and the static stuff, and I've run shift actually against that. So I don't even know if I use Paratest in fairness, but I'm just going to bump this to like 11.5. All right, let's try this again. There we go. Okay, so this Raul, yeah. Okay. How can we help out Raul? Raul needs... All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna jump on the MacBook Pro. Let me sign into one of the workers, and I'm gonna send this package a PR, one of those shift PRs I was talking about. So let me just kind of hand type this in here. So Raul 900 day / Laravel dash captcha, and we will Laravel dash captcha. All right, it looks like he might have a different named. He does. His GitHub repo is actually a different name. So let's change that. So it's Raul day 12 Laravel dash captcha. Captcha, that's always a weird word to spell. All right, that is running in the background. So in like 20 seconds, we will hopefully see a PR from Laravel Shift for Laravel 12 compatibility. And then we will follow it, and hopefully Composer Update will complete. And if Composer Update completes, then we can run the test suite that I have, and we'll see if everything passes. Okay, let's refresh. There we are, beautiful. Okay, so we've given them a Laravel 12 compatibility PR. Let's just kind of look at it for fun. Let's see what we've given them. So basically what this PR does, it's just a community service kind of thing. All those ones that I track, he probably didn't get one because, again, it looked, according to our little tool, it looked like he had compatibility. It looks like this package had compatibility. So I'll have to look into that. But anyway, so Laravel 12. Okay, we exclude, and then we just append Laravel 12 and the stuff required for Laravel 12. So from a testing perspective on Laravel 12, for those dependencies, you would need to run Orchestra Test Bench, Pest, and Rector at higher versions, so it appends those as well. Okay, I don't really care if they're build runs. What I care about is composer compatibility. So they'll need to work out this passing on its own. But for now, I can use this, okay? Until they merge, I can use this. So basically what it's saying is if you're using this package and you want to help them kind of test out and have compatibility, here's what you do. So let's go do it. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to get into my composer.json file. So let's map our version of this, our fork of this package. And then under the constraint, we will point to our Laravel Shift L12 compatibility branch. And we basically Composer, if you throw a dev in front of that, it knows that it's a branch. And it knows to pull it from here based on this repository reference. So it kind of knows that that's a fork, and it should attempt to find this branch name on that fork, on that repository. So with any luck, I should be able to run Composer update and this runs. I hope. If not, that would mean there's another package that's incompatible that Shift also missed, which would be sad. No, there we go, cool. So I'll figure out why Raul's package did not, while it claimed it had compatibility, maybe there was already a branch in there that we just didn't see. We'll go back, I'll go back and look at that after the stream, but Composer's running, yay. So yeah, I think it's pretty good, it's pretty good. Let's try the test, right? Let's try test. So we got this running, everything ran through, awesome, everything's getting picked up, so this is good. PHP artisan route list. Sometimes in the absence of test, I like to run route list because this actually goes through all of your routes and actually instantiates every controller and touches the action. So in a way, you kind of get a pretty nice smoke test. You'll see people like Nuno and stuff talk about like, here's one test to write that'll touch all your application. And basically this is what they're doing. They're basically just like looping through all your routes and trying to hit them for a 200. That's exactly what this command does for you, basically. From a code entries perspective, it doesn't kick out a bunch of test assertions, but it's doing the same thing underneath. It's effectively touching all of your controller actions and making sure that they at least load, right? So very similar thing, a kind of a very quick and dirty smoke test of the application, right? Just does this load? Because if you've got issues in your controllers or your routes or something's not wired up correctly, this is going to explode. So, okay, let's do vendor bin PHP unit, question mark. Are we going to be green? I don't even know if production's green, in fairness. Let's see here. So we got a few failures. Okay, we got a 200, but okay, this is good. This could be interesting because some of those gates changed. Here's what I want to do. This could be failing on main. So here's what I want to do. Let's do a git add dot. Let's do a git commit -m. We'll say composer update. Let's push this up. I'm going to go back and check out main because again, before I go too deep here and say that like the upgrade broke something, I want to make sure that this actually still runs on main. These actually pass on main. So let's do composer update -w because we need to basically downgrade back to Laravel 11 on main, and then we'll run the tests. If they all pass here, then maybe there was a bug that was introduced in some of that gate stuff. So let's find out. Let's find out. Okay, back here, we should be able to run vendor bin PHP unit. Let's see if these all pass. So far, so good. So far, so good. Looking good, actually. Okay, so maybe we introduced an issue, so let's go figure out what it was. Okay, minus this one test that I'm skipping or marked incomplete, these do pass on main. So, git checkout dash, whoops, nah. Git checkout dash. This is why you gotta have a test suite, see? All these people doing these 10-second upgrades, probably no test suite either, right? So this is why I love the pairing of Shift and CI and code styles, and you gotta have all these tools. You gotta have tests, you gotta have all this stuff. This is the process. Okay, let's go back. Composer update -w. Let's get our Laravel 12 dependencies back, and let's start getting this test suite passing to finalize the upgrade. So yeah, see, look at this Raul. We see this. It's pulling in, instead of 3.0, it's pulling in this dev branch. Awesome. Okay, back to vendor bin. Let's see what's failing. It looked like it, from those quick glances, it looked like a 200 when it thought it should have been a 403. So my guess is a piece of middleware maybe didn't get converted correctly, or maybe that authorized resource, maybe that wasn't a one-to-one conversion. Let's find out. Okay, authorization exception. This action is, okay, so this one's actually more strict. This one's actually more strict. And these got a 200, or no, these, okay, so in fairness, things are more strict here. So that's better than not being not being strict enough. So it's not letting me see something I shouldn't be seeing. It's actually the other way around. I should be seeing this, but I'm not. So let's figure out why this got messed up. It looks like 2 of them are in this package controller test. So let's start there. Let's start here and see what happened. So let's take this test. Let's narrow it down and just run this for some speed, right? We got 2 issues here, so let's see what's going on. So let's go into our package controller test. Let's make sure the test isn't weird in some way. So this one actually has without exception handling. That's interesting. So that's why we're getting an exception there instead of the 200. So let's kill that. So we get 2 failures now. Response status code 200, but received 403. Okay, something's not what we expect here. Okay, let's get a feel for, first of all, let's get a feel for what this package controller does. Okay, so it is using some of the middleware. Awesome. And it is coming in index. Ooh, okay, I think I already see the problem. Index is not, that's the problem. This is actually a little shift bug. I'm gonna have to fix this. Index is not a modeled, it's not a modeled resource action. It's just a generic action. I think this will fix it. Yeah. That's a bug in Shift. I'm gonna fix that immediately. But yeah, okay, let's find the other can view innies. Let's find the other can view innies and let's fix them because that's the exact problem in the other one too. Super quick fix for me. That would probably be annoying for other people. Let's get this fixed up. Oh, there's actually a couple of these. Wow. Okay, let's open them in a find window and fix all these up. All right, so the can view any is a I forget what the docs call it, but they call it like a, you know, a non-resource method or a method without a model. But really, oops, I copy pasted the wrong thing. Let's go back and fix that. Okay, so not connection there. That's credentials, app model package. Okay, let's make sure these line up. I think Git will be faster to make sure these line up. So git add-p, let's get these cleaned up. Okay, so can view any on connection controller is app models connection. Yes. Can view any on credentials controller is package. Oh, you have to be, yeah, you have to be the owner of the package to add the credentials. Yes. That's fine. The package controller itself, app models package, yes. And then app repository controller is app models repository, yes. Okay, and then we got rid of that. That's not needed anymore. Okay, so let's go back vendor, bin, PHP unit. Test suites, gotta love them. Here we go, gonna be green. Green. Beautiful. Fully upgraded Laravel 12 application. Helpful test suites, but I'm gonna go fix Shift so no one else ever runs into that problem again because that was kind of ugly. Let's do a git commit -m. We'll do fix resource models, git push. Hopefully we'll see CI passing here in a second. So yeah, and hopefully Raul will merge this. I will go, let's go back real quick. Let's go back to, let's see what version it claims that was. Let's go back to composer.json and let's pop this. I want to see, did I just overrule that or what? No, it's got a checkbox. Oh no, it doesn't. It doesn't. Here I am thinking my stuff's all broken. It's good. I just scrolled too fast. I must have scrolled too fast or the comment box was in the way or something. Okay, it's saying unknown. And the Shift itself said it was unknown in fairness. So you would have been alerted from Shift and this that thing did not have compatibility, but now we've got them a nice little PR wherever that was in my tabs. we got them a nice little PR out there. So you can use that PR as I did if you are using that package. And again, it was noted here. So in fairness, it was noted here. So we did find a bug though, and the bug was, let me just bring this up so I can go fix it immediately after the stream. Here it is right there. It's that. This is a non-model based gate. So it needs to just be the model name, the model class name. So I will fix that right away. That'll be like, I'll have that fixed in the next 10 minutes. So let's see if this passes. Let's see if this passes. It should. Oh, we got some lint. Okay, so our test pass, fix our lint. We got some lint. What's our lint? Pint. I want all green. I want all green because I'm gonna merge this. Okay, it thinks we're green. My local version of pint's probably not the same version as, yeah, that's the problem. My local version of pint's not the same version of pint that's used in the project. I use a higher version of the project. All right, git commit -m. That's strange that it should be ignoring that. It should be ignoring test fixtures. It should be ignoring test fixtures. I'm gonna put this fix lint. I'm gonna git add -u, git commit -m, fix lint, maybe, git push. Let's see if this fixes it. Are those the ones that it complained about? I should probably ignore that fixtures folder, yeah. Okay, so this should pass here in just a second. This should pass. I just want this, I want this all the way, I wanna merge it. I wanna merge it. The whole point was getting to 12, right? Let's merge it. Okay, I have every faith that these will be green. So let's go back to our PR. I want green. I want green. Am I using, again, I'm not allowing SVGs, so I kind of don't care about that, but I'm just curious. Let's just do a search here. Image : do we have any image uploads? Doesn't say so. I probably use the file image. I like new stuff. I'm probably using file image. Nope. Doesn't seem like I'm using anything here. Am I doing just image? Oh yeah, okay, here we go. We do have image. There we go. Oh, it's in Livewire. There you go. It's in Livewire. I wonder if that'd be a good note. That'd be a good follow-up. I'm assuming Livewire uses Laravel's validation rules underneath. I'm almost positive that they do. So I am using an image rule here. But again, I know the intended behavior of the application, and I don't think I would want to allow SVGs to be uploaded for the icons. Personally, I don't think so. I'd have to check though. I'd have to check. There's not many users of this right now, so I'll probably just wait till a user says, oh, I tried to upload an SVG, and then I'll just go turn it on. But again, it's good that Shift noted this, right? I'm aware as a developer now, I'm aware, right? I didn't just go in and bump my dependencies and think I was upgraded. Like, again, this is one of those like tiny things that can kind of bite you later on of like, why aren't SVGs working? And it's like, oh yeah, Laravel 12. You know, you probably wouldn't know that unless you really trolled the docs or something. So, did we pass? Did we pass? We're green. Squash merge. Squash merge. There we go. It's merged. Cool. There we go. WPPM's on Laravel 12. We've pulled another package. So I think this was a good indication, right? Even though this was a Laravel 11 application, there were some things here that not only did it refactor for us and I was able to kind of modernize my code in that way, but also, again, the benefit of, this upgrade tool, the benefit of a test suite. You know, there's a lot of stuff here, right? And again, this goes back to that thorough upgrade, right? Shift definitely gave me a leg up, but there was still some things I had to do, right? No matter if you upgrade, manually or with Shift or whatever, the point is just be thorough. Feel good about that upgrade. I felt really good about clicking that button right there. I was excited to click merge, right? I wasn't kind of like, oh, I think I'm on 12, right? I felt good about it. It was fun. So anyway, hopefully that helps. I'm gonna go patch that bug right now. Thanks everybody for joining live. Oh, let me check the chat. Super helpful. Cool, Ron. All right. Yeah. Thanks everybody for joining live. See you next Wednesday.